All right, so here we go. I'm Frostbites.
Code Black 1222. That's 3.
I'm Top Hat Tragedy, Topsy Hatley.
And today we are talking about guilty pleasures.
Specify.
You better clear that up now.
That was the joke of it. Now we're gonna be talking about guilty pleasures that we have as far as video games goes, movies go, television shows, the kind of things where it's we find enjoyment out of, but not many other people probably would. Like we realize it's a terrible game, or a terrible movie, but there's just something about it that makes us love it. And what was the one that we were talking about earlier that got us into that?
Oh shit.
Oh no, yeah, it was the Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer for the NES.
Fuck that game, dude.
Dude, that game is so hard and so bad, and I love it. It's one of those games that is supposed to be hard, and I guess I just find an enjoyment out of the fact that it's so obnoxiously hard that I find myself actually having fun with it. I'm sitting here I want to beat this because of how absurdly hard it is. I want to be that guy to do it, and I just get such a sick emotion, a sick, enjoyment out of it that I just find it fun.
I'm gonna start off with platforms here, actually. I'm gonna start off in the NES era and move my way up.
Okay.
I would have to say, because I have a million on the NES, I swear to God, and one of them you'll be like, what the fuck? But the first one I'd have to say is Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, I'm looking this up. I've heard of it.
It's fucking stupid.
I heard. Is it considered the absolute worst?
No, that's Deadly Towers.
Yeah, okay. It's the second worst then.
I don't know, man. The graphics are absolutely dismal. There's no fun in the entire game. The only thing that is awesome is your character can jump like a madman, and when you punch people, sometimes their heads explode.
What?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And we're talking about the Nintendo here, right?
Yeah.
I swear to God, if you actually, hold on. If you actually, hit someone, it's grotesque, actually. Their backs they arch their backs as their internal organs start leaking out from their bodies and splattering all over the streets, and it's what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Well, apparently, from what I'm looking up right now, it's actually based off of an anime movie that came out in 1986 too.
Yeah, and the only thing that was really good about that is it just has a guy that goes a lot, so it's that's the best part.
Yeah, I'm looking up right now. It's the top 20 worst NES games of all time, and see if it's on there. I don't know. I wasn't the biggest. I was more of a Super Nintendo guy. I played some Nintendo games, but looking at this has gone from guilty pleasure games to actually looking at a list. And this is on Crack.com. They got some decent lists, but they got number 20 at Athena. You ever heard of that game?
No.
It looks pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, this is the top 20 worst games.
Yeah. Well, Bible adventures.
Where is your God now?
Pretty much. It's he's trapped in an NES cartridge and cannot be saved. Oh man. What the fuck is this? One is called Chubby Churub, and it's about a fat ass baby fairy thing that you play as, and it is full nude.
Oh my god.
No need for that at all.
No kidding. Wow, that is terrible. Muscle. Never heard of it, and it actually looks like the cover of the Ultimate Muscle video game. Yeah. There's actually a Where's Waldo video game.
Yeah. You ever watch the Irate Gamer? I mean, sure, he's second-rate AGN guy, but I
still enjoy watching the guy. I mean, speaking of guilty pleasures, I enjoy watching that guy.
Yeah, and he did a Where's Waldo review not too long ago. I think it was he's one of the few guys I think I know of that's actually done a review of the game. And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good episode. It's funny. But yeah, he did review Where's Waldo, so I do know that does exist.
I knew I did hear of it. Fist of the North Star, ranked the 10th worst of all time.
Yes! That a boy, Tops. That a boy.
All right, I'm gonna be. Let's see here. All right, let's check out the top 5 here. Cause
I'm absolutely curious. Is Deadly Towers the top worst?
Well, that's what we're gonna find out. Number 5 is Gilligan's Island. Never played it. Sounds dumb. Another one's called number 4, Tag Team Pro Wrestling. It looks bad. Oh man, 3 is the X-Men game for the NES.
Oh.
I remember watching AVGN review that one. Number 2, I never even heard of this one. Dragonlance, Heroes of the Lance.
Nope, not really.
Okay, yep, number 1, Deadly Towers.
Fuck yeah!
That is... Oh, man.
Dude, where's High Glide then?
Actually, I didn't even see... I need to see if I skipped it.
Well, where's Iron Sword?
Like I said, I need to look back, because I skipped one of the pages to go to the top 10, so I gotta see if I skipped it by... Let's see here.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab my huge box of games because I'm not gonna be able to remember half the shit I have really quick. So I'll be right back. You guys go ahead and chat it up. I'll be back in a second.
Jim Henson's Muppet Adventure. The hell?
Is
Bad Street Brawler? The Barbie game? I'm not seeing it.
Oh, is there a game in there? Legend of Kage?
I think that's what I meant. Kage instead of Cage.
Oh, because that game is terrible too. But it's so much fun to play. Just because the death noise is hilarious.
Really? I never even heard of it, so I can't really... Mighty Bomb Jack.
The first incarnation of Bomberman.
I still can't believe it. The Total Recall game. I do remember playing that one as a kid. That was terrible. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of those that you brought up.
Oh, wow, that's crazy, man. Like, Iron is definitely a terrible-ass game. Like, I don't think anybody would have a guilty pleasure playing it because there's no pleasure to be guilty of.
Yeah. I mean, for something to be a guilty pleasure, there's got to be something enjoyable about it. Like I said, with the Silver Surfer, there was an enjoyment over how hard it was, I had fun with that.
Yeah, oh.
Yeah, but there's like just looking up worst NES games gives you so many side things. But Cracked is one that I do trust, and they obviously showcase that with Deadly Towers being the worst.
God.
All right, so what's yours, James?
For the Nintendo, this is so easy, it's ridiculous. One of my favorite games of all time, and it is considered one of the worst games of all time, is definitely got to get the nod to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh man, I remember watching you play that and actually enjoying yourself with it.
I like the game. I think that if you get into the whole premise of the game, that it actually turns out to be one of the most challenging games that you'll play. Sure, it's frustrating, but like the AVGN kind of attacked it, and I've played it through a couple of occasions. I've never actually beaten the game because like it's kind of outlandishly, monotonous, and after a while you kind of get bored. But if you just pop it in for a while, it's pretty fun. And plus my game freezes a lot. I just replaced my NES, whatever the hell you want to call it, the pin connector. There you go. But when he talks about the bombs and stuff, the bombs aren't really as lethal as he made them out to be. You can definitely dodge them really easily. The only thing I hate are the cats, but you can like glitch them off the screen sometime. The game is just borderline terrible, but I have this like love for it anyway, where if I pop it in, I just get a kick out of that title screen every time I see it with the music. And then I always get a kick out of just playing the game.
Especially the whole entire thing where, AVGN, brought it up, and I remember you looking up a video on it where, like, because, the theme song for it was ripped off of that other game. I can't remember what the hell it's called for the life of me. Rygar, yeah. And the way they got out of copyrights was adding in, 2 extra notes at the end of the song?
Yeah, like, they changed the tone, and then they added in 2, like, notes at the very end.
Yeah, I know. Like, I guess back then there was no problem with doing that. Nowadays, if you try something like that, like you're toast. At least I think so. I don't know. Topsy here, he's a music guy. I'm pretty sure you would know.
Well.
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay, what about you, Will?
Yeah, like I said, the Silver Surfer for the NES for me, definitely. I also had... I have no idea. It depends. I'm not sure if it's aged well in my eyes, but I haven't played in a while. But as a kid, I had so much fun with the Ninja Turtle game for the NES. Like, the bad one.
Oh, dude.
I loved that game as a kid.
Is that the one? You're talking about the one where, like, you can switch between turtles in the overworld?
Yes.
And then you go into the little sewers and shit?
Mm-hmm.
And those big steamrollers just...
Say what?
Does it have that really terrible swimming scene in it with, like, the electric...
Yeah, the electrical things on the side.
And that's the game that has the awesome the Foot Clan steamrollers that just destroy you in one hit.
Oh, yeah. And it was hard. It's a freaking hard game. Like I said, I'm pretty sure if I played it now, I would hate it. But, goddamn, I loved that game as a kid so much. I would play it on end. Because I actually thought I was doing good when I really sucked.
That game does that. It gives you false hope, man.
It really does, but I mean, like I said, I can't fault it too much because I did have some enjoyment with it, and yeah, there's really not much else to say about it. It's a shitty game, but I liked it as a kid. I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much now, though. I highly doubt it. I don't know.
Hey, you can just find out. Come back down here, and I got it. So it's like...
That is true. Yeah, you do have it. I'm pretty sure I can get on like the WiiWare too for like $5. So that doesn't matter.
Okay, so you got any more NES ones, Topsy?
Yeah, I do actually. It's going to be kind of weird actually. One game that I do find kind of a guilty pleasure because of just the nature of the game itself is The Adventures of Link.
Yeah.
I guess you could consider it a guilty pleasure because a lot of people hated it. I love the game.
Well, see, that's the good part because I absolutely love the game, but goddamn, does it fuck me in the ass so many times.
Yeah, it is really hard, but
like every time I play the game, I find some new way to kill me. It's like, what the fuck? I thought this was an NES game. AI hasn't been built yet.
So, Topsy, I got a quick question for you because I think you would know because you're kind of more of the Zelda guy. But when they released the game, back in the day, not any reboots or anything, because obviously they released it for the GameCube and such. Were there only gold cartridges, or did they actually finally release it on a silver cartridge as well? Like, like the original gray cartridge for the NES? Was there ever any releases of that, or were they all on the gold cartridges?
No, I think that the gold cartridge was just like a collector's edition thing. Like, I actually own The Adventures of Link, the cartridge, and it's a gray cartridge.
See, and I have the golden cartridge, so I thought that maybe that... Well, I didn't know, because I went and I got it. It's ridiculous. This is how like the world works, and like you wouldn't get it. I mean, most people wouldn't understand it, but this guy was selling this game online for about $5, and I was like, why not, right? I mean, come on. I want to own the game, even if I'm not a big fan of it. And I got the gold cart, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's like $5. And I went up to, we have a game store not too far from us, and they were selling the game for $35. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why is it so much? And they said because it's a gold cart. And I just couldn't believe that, I actually got one for like dirt cheap, and then it actually turned out to be like worth much more than I thought. So I didn't know if they actually released the game on a gray cartridge, but obviously since you have the game on a gray cartridge, then that would obviously prove the point right there. Like, I had no idea they released it on the gray cartridge.
I can't remember for the life of me if they released a gray cartridge for Legend of Zelda 1, the very first one. I can't remember if they did or not, because I have the gray cartridge of that. I mean, I'm sorry, I have the golden cartridge of Legend of Zelda 1, but I have a gray of Adventures of Link.
Yeah, because I'm looking up Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link on Amazon, and it's like, a brand new, it goes for like $400.
Yeah.
A new from a regular person's like $50, used about $10, and a collectible $15. So it varies, but brand new, yeah, $400.
The thing is like if you bought anybody who wants to swindle out cash, all they'd have to do is buy the gold cartridge online for $10, take it up to one of those stores and get it for like $20, and you automatically make a $10 profit. And like you could rinse and repeat for infinite cash if you want to use that stupid mundane thing that people always say. But yeah, like technically, if I got on there and found a gold cart for $5, and I went up there and sold it, I could get at least 20-25 on it.
You sound like one of those infomercials. Call James now. I can get you fast money. All you got to do is buy shit off him.
Well, no, some people actually do.
Two gold cart. And
well,
sell it
and like,
somewhere.
and people do make a living off of doing that by like with computers and such. Well, they'll like buy a computer for like $400, and then they'll sell it online for like $450. Because it's cheaper than someone having to pay $500 and they make a profit of $50. And they do this with like hundreds of computers and all these other items, and that's how they make their living.
Yeah.
They wake up, go online, buy stuff, and sell it for like an extra $20 to $50, and they profit from it.
Well, it's easy because it's like being a flipman. Like let's say you an NES connector pin is about $5 online. The majority of the problems with Nintendo's come from the connector pins. So if you buy a broken, quote-unquote, NES for like $5, slapped a brand new pin collector in it, like washed it off, and like made it look better, you could resell it for about $30-35 if you put like, you know,
exactly,
like a controller or something in with it. You'd have to have the connections, so you want to make sure you get those. But I mean, like, flipping around that product isn't hard. It's just people are too lazy to actually do it.
Exactly. That's the main thing. Any others in the NES, or do we want to move up to the SNES for guilty pleasures?
I only have one more because it's a game that I feel like when it got ripped on, I was kind of like, okay, I guess I can see where he's coming from.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and I think it's one that I like, too.
Yes, I love A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I knew it. That's exactly what I was thinking.
It is probably borderline one of my favorite side-scrollers, if you want to call it that. I think it is. It qualifies as a side-scroller, doesn't it?
Yeah, it technically does.
I mean,
you're going from left to... There's a platform scheme to it. You're going from left to right, even though there are times where you have to go and find out which house or graveyard to go into. But it still has a basic 2D side-scrolling theme to it.
I like it because I love the music. The soundtrack for that game is surprisingly one of the most well-done for me on an NES, because everybody has their opinions. I'm not going to say that it has the best music of all time, because that's just stupid. But I really enjoyed the music. I thought the atmosphere was great. I thought that, minus a few quirks here and there, like, you know, obviously being in the dream world is better than being awake, but then the reverse of that is that if you're awake, then the enemies don't take as much to kill, and if you get really good with the punching, then you're fine anyway. But I just love that game. Like when I saw the review and I bought it, because like for a while there I kind of did a thing where I bought every game that AVGN reviewed. Like I tried.
He really did.
I tried to find every game that he reviewed and buy it.
I got him Friday the 13th for Christmas, and I already had a copy, so now I have it.
But yeah, like I played through because I want to know for myself. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I want to know. And I thought that the game was amazing. I was like, wow, I feel like I just stole it. I mean, the game is worth like quite a bit. If you sell it online, it's like $25. It's a pretty I don't know if you want to say rare game, but it's a movie licensed game, so it's obviously going to always have a little value to it. But yeah, I thought that A Nightmare on Elm Street was awesome. I still haven't beaten it because it's a little stingy sometimes with the difficulty. But it's a great
I'll
game.
I'll vouch for that, man. Actually, that game is pretty cool. I've played it.
I like it. It's
Definitely.
Definitely a lot of fun. Any others on your end, Topsy?
Yeah, I actually got one more, actually.
All right.
Ever heard of Monster Party?
Yes! Yes!
Yes!
That game is so fucking awesome.
Is it technically considered a bad game, though?
Yeah.
It's the best
It
thing
really
ever.
is.
That game teaches you that pills save your life.
No, dude, I have played that game. I love it. That game is it's hard, but it's so much fun.
It is. It's like it's guilty pleasure because the game is absolutely terrible. It really is, but it's so much fun to play.
Like, Like, we're talking the same one where you walk in and those zombies say, "Watch us dance," and you have to actually legitimately watch them dance.
Exactly. And then there's...
Which to me is the most ingenious thing. Like, people may say otherwise, but I absolutely love it when, like, a game does something that you do not expect.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fucking flowers that say A, baby. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, another game that did something like that, except for this one is not a guilty pleasure, this one cannot be defended, is Sonic 06. But there is something that it did that I absolutely loved. And that is when you come to a part where there's a bunch of guards that stand there and say, you're not allowed to go in. Well, what are you? You're used to like, okay, I gotta go do something and actually go in. No one knew that the actual thing was to actually jump over them and enter yourself. That's what you had to do. And I thought it was ingenious because it takes you out of what you're so used to as a gamer and gives you a different perspective on it. And I think and everybody hated it, but I thought it was so well done. And that's why I like the Dancing Zombies part, because you don't expect it. And that's what makes it so good, in my opinion.
The best part of that game ever, though, is when you walk into that one room and it says, I'm a boss, but I'm already dead.
Yeah, it's like...
Sorry, I'm dead.
Like, he's like... I mean, it's so funny, because, it's like subtle things like that crack me up. Like, in gaming, I always give big bonus points to something that catches me off guard. Like, for me, that would be because you get so used to this formula, when you walk in, there's going to be a boss to fight. And then the one time you walk in, the guy's like, well, I'm already dead. You're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, thank you.
Like, you're expecting him to come up and actually attack you, because it's like, oh, there's going to be a boss fight anyways. But no, he's just like, nope, you just win.
I'm dead, dude.
Okay.
You're free to go, no more.
Yeah, I love that. That is awesome.
Take some pills. Pills are good for you.
Exactly. Pills are the best.
Shall we move on to SNES platform?
SNES, I'm going to start this one off, and I know James can vouch for me on this one. Biggest guilty pleasure for me, and I don't know how it's considered a guilty pleasure, because I think it's one of the best SNES games made ever, is Super Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I love Super Godzilla.
It is so good. And people are like, oh, well, and AVGN did it too, where he's like, oh, when you attack a building, you lose health, that's stupid. It's like, so what? Avoid the buildings. There are areas where you can get yourself some health, and the fights with the bosses are so much fun.
I mean,
and there is like...
Yeah, like, I mean, me and you can obviously say this because we played it. Like, the combat isn't that good, per se. Like, the whole thing of punching and backing up is retarded.
It's stupid. But the cool thing is, though, that wasn't mentioned in the review, because I don't even think he knew it, is that the more steps you take back, the more powerful attacks you get.
Yeah, like the Mega Blast.
Mega Blast, the Super Punch, so much good. And actually reaching Super Godzilla is, you feel...
awesome. Like, you're unstoppable with Super Godzilla.
And then the final fight not only is one of my favorite final bosses, but it has my all-time favorite boss music.
Yeah, it has the best fighting boss soundtrack I've heard in a game.
Ever.
Like, I honestly can say that I haven't found a lot of games that have had a moment where, as a player, you truly felt, like, worthless against Bagan, because Bagan, like, beats the dog shit out of you.
You have no shot. You try, and you're hitting him for no damage, and every attack he does like 300.
Yeah, and then you get transformed, and the epic music's still playing in the background. Then you have this epic fight, Super Godzilla versus Bagan, and Bagan is, like, probably my favorite villain in Godzilla that was never, ever, like, packaged and put into a movie, which is unfortunate. And he's just a game exclusive. He was going to be in a movie, but they scrapped him. But, yeah, like, God, that game is good. Like,
I love
it.
Okay, so is it
So there's one of mine.
Yeah, and that takes one of mine, too, because I was going to say the exact same thing.
Oh, shit, so it's my turn again?
Yep, it's all you.
Okay, I got this. I'd have to say one of the first guilty pleasures that I have, game-wise, of the SNES would be Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Ooh.
Is that...
What? I actually enjoy playing the game, but I've never beaten it because I can't do it.
Well, I'm trying to think, again, is that considered a terrible game? Or is it just considered really hard?
Well, no, we're not naming off terrible games, remember? We're naming off guilty pleasures.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I gotcha.
So, like, it's definitely a guilty pleasure because, like, if like one of my brothers or something were to walk in, they would ask me, why the fuck are you playing this game? It's so hard, it's stupid, what the fuck? And it's like, because there's some small minute detail about it that makes me smile.
Mm-hmm. I can see it. I'm trying to think. I swear to God, like Super God, because there were so many games that I got as a kid for the Super Nintendo that were god honest terrible, and I never had any play. Like I tried doing Battleship, so bad I couldn't even get enjoyment out of it. Like the only game that, because all the games that I owned were bad. I don't know what it was. I just had a bad. Actually, I wouldn't even consider Jurassic Park a guilty pleasure because I really just don't like that game.
Dude, I know we're not on the topic of Sega, but the Jurassic Park from the Sega Genesis was like amazing.
Yeah.
What? Are you high?
I am, yes.
Like, okay. I got so close to, I actually still have the footage on my DVD in there. I haven't had the chance to make the video yet. There's one level in that game when you're playing as Grant, when you're going down the river.
Yeah.
Like, on the boat. Like, for real. I died so many goddamn times. I have it on, I had it where I played the game for 3.5 hours on that one level just because of all the fucking bullshit that happened on it. And I was having a good time until then, too. I finally did beat the level, though, but I was going to make a video, just ripping that game for that one level alone. Because of all the mechanics and stuff that, totally screwed me over on, every part. And maybe I just suck ass at the game, but, honestly, I never have died that many times on a level in a video game that wasn't designed to be hard. If you play I Want to Be the Guy and you die a lot, it makes sense. You're supposed to. But Jurassic Park, when I'm stuck on a level for 3 hours, I'm like, really? That's not how this should be. And then... yeah, I'll try and do it. I'll try and get it on here and show you, but I know you'll get a kick out of it because you love the game, but playing as the Raptor is fun, hands down. The Raptor part is awesome. I love playing as the Raptor.
Oh yeah, man. But we're not on a Sega. I kind of sidetracked this. What's your SNES game of the moment?
I kind of think it's funny because he just kind of touched on it for a second there and then decided to go the opposite direction. But my guilty pleasure for a Super Nintendo game is definitely Jurassic Park.
Really?
Yes.
I fucking hate that game.
I decided to one day, because
I think I was there. I remember watching you beat it.
You were there. I got a guide for it.
You needed to.
Yeah, there's no way you can beat that game without a guide. You will get so lost. But anyway, so I got this guide, and I played for, I think it was 6 or 7 hours trying to beat the game. And I loved the game. I mean, if I were to just pop it in for a while, I don't even necessarily have to play the game to enjoy it. For me, running around, zapping dinosaurs and blowing shit up with a rocket launcher, even if it's not even pertaining to the story, is so much fun. I love walking into those stampeding herds and just standing there and shooting that electrical beam out, and as they run by, they run right into it and die. I could do that for days. I just love I love the dinosaur fights. I mean, some of it kind of gets a little monotonous. I always love running away from the T-Rex. I would just legitimately go down there just so I can run away from them a couple times, because it's always fun. But I even like the 3D segment. Not the 3D, but the first-person perspective. Even those segments I have a great time with, because they create an atmosphere where it's kind of dark and gloomy in these rooms, and nothing will ever prepare you for the first time you walk into a dark room and don't realize you have to have the night goggles and you die instantly. It's so much fun. I really do like the game because I feel like, you know how the Alien vs. Predator for the Jaguar game, Will, it had that kind of, they said, that weird thing where, even if you knew they were coming, you could never hear them? Well, that's the same thing in that game. When the raptors come at you, you don't know until they're right in your face attacking you, and it always gets a little scare out of me every now and again.
Oh, yeah. And I will agree that, I did have some fun with the 3D parts of it. Yeah, not the 3D, but the first-person parts. But it just couldn't save it for me. I could not find enjoyment out of that game. And maybe it's because I just kept getting lost. Maybe if I tried it with the guide, I'd enjoy it more. But, yeah, that game, I just all in all hate it.
Well, the thing, for me, what would save the game, because it's terrible. The execution is terrible, but if they implemented some sort of save system, I feel like the game would have been a lot better. Because then you didn't have to beat it all in one sitting, and then, you don't have to drain yourself. Because I'll be honest, at the end of the 7-8 hours, I was ready to be done. I was like, okay, we got to get through this, because my brain is just fried right now. So, but, that's my guilty pleasure for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have it, Super Godzilla was it for me. Everything else I played was good, or just god-awful, and Super Godzilla was the only guilty pleasure I actually had.
Okay, you don't have another one?
No, I don't.
All right, I have one. I have two, actually, but they're going to be real quick, I promise.
Okay.
One is Shaq Fu.
Okay, you're going to have to do a lot of defending on this one, my friend.
What, you don't get any kind of enjoyment because the game is just fucking stupid?
No, I don't. No. There's nothing you could say that'll make me actually give that game a second thought.
Because it's fucking Shaq. You're kicking and beating.
I think that's the other reason, because I don't really like Shaq.
Neither do I, but that's what makes it awesome.
All
right.
What's your other one?
I can see your point, though. As sickening as it is, I can see where you're coming from on that.
Okay, I
hope this one's a little bit better.
I honestly don't. It's actually more of a question, more so than an actual answer. I don't know how much of this game you've played, James, but would you, Frostbites, would you consider Super Metroid a guilty pleasure?
Nah.
Most people that you talk to do not like that game.
And they don't like it because they don't like the feel of being like a lab rat in the middle of nowhere, having to find out where you're going. They prefer linear games where they're told where to go and how to do it. And
yeah, I'm the exact opposite. I enjoy every moment of not knowing where I was in that game.
Well, and same here. That's why I enjoy the game so much. Could I consider it a guilty pleasure? I guess, but it has in my opinion, way too much of a actual fan base that do love it that I wouldn't consider it a guilty pleasure, really.
Fair enough.
I could see where you're coming from, but I wouldn't consider. I literally thought about it. I sat here and I was like, could I consider Super Metroid as a guilty pleasure? And I'm like, not really. Because then every game would have to be considered a guilty pleasure because, even like A Link to the Past, there are people that hate that game.
Sure. Yeah.
And I would personally, I wouldn't consider it that.
Have you ever played the game, James?
Oh man. When it comes to the Metroid series for me, unfortunately, I have a little bit of a negative stand on it. Unfortunately, for me, I love Metroid Fusion. That game is by far my favorite one in the entire Metroid series.
And I'm probably ruining it for you. Go me.
Oh,
no, dude, he's ruining it for me. All right,
dude. We'll get to that video. You destroyed my feelings.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to watch and see this, but I love Metroid Fusion, and I fucking hate the original Metroid.
Everybody does.
I have tried so hard to sit down and be like, okay, you know what, today I'm going to play some Metroid because I need to, because, I want to have that feeling of hey, I beat the first Metroid, and I'll play it for 10 minutes, and I'm just like, fuck this game. Yeah. How is this ever?
And I'm sure even Metroid fans feel the same way.
Okay, and then, alright, and then I guess we'll move on here. And then we have Metroid 2, the one on Game Boy. Obviously, I'm not going to be a big fan of that just because it's on the Game Boy. I don't like the whole limited thing. I mean, I'll have to play it to make a final judgment on it. And then when it comes down to Super Metroid, I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna have to try it again. I don't know if I'm just gonna have to have like a more open mind about it. But I did not enjoy that game either. Where like I was playing it, and I couldn't get into it because I felt like if I wander around aimlessly for like 3 or 4 hours, then it's like holy shit, like really. I don't want to spend all game running around aimlessly.
The thing I found out about. Oh, sorry. What's that?
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say the thing that I found out about that game is Super Metroid is one of those games that you rarely ever see this engine built into it. It's got. I actually think that the game was built so that you have to create your own fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like.
And for some people, it's the exploration side of it.
That's true, but I mean, like, he is right though. I mean, like off first playing that game, you're wandering around. You're like, where the fuck do I go? Like. There's just these simple controls. I don't have anything special about it, but you don't know about all these little things that you can do right away.
Mm-hmm. And like, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is that I do agree with what James is saying because I've said it many times before. When I was a kid and I played that game, I hated it because I was wandering around for hours not knowing where to go. And I felt like I was just wasting my time. And it wasn't until I got older that I had more of appreciation for the exploration side of it, where it wasn't like, oh my god, why is this taking so long? And it was more like, all right, let's see where, let's see if I can find something in here. Nothing in here. Okay, now let's see if I can find something in here. Okay, I did find something, and I found an enjoyment out of that. And I guess nowadays it's even more like, because I'm so experienced with it and I know where a lot of the hidden secrets are and whatnot, not all of them, but a good majority of them, that, because I'm able to breeze through it so much, maybe that's why I get such an enjoyment out of it. But James does have a point.
And that's exactly why I brought up, would you consider it a guilty pleasure?
You know what? I still couldn't.
Okay. All right.
Because
I don't want to shit on the game, like, because,
Oh, you're not.
I understand that. I mean, like, it's classic. Like, even if I don't like it, I still want to own a copy of it just for the sake of having it. But I feel like until I am able to sit down and beat this game, that I always spend so much time running around, and then I always run into doors I can't open because I don't have this. I can't open doors because I don't have that. I have to go back here, and then when I get back there, I have to go all the way back up there. And it's like I'm not a huge fan of back.
Oh yeah.
Over and over again.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I can easily see that, and you're not wrong to think that. And before we go on to the next one, I want to take a step back just to throw it out there. I forgot one of my guilty pleasures in the NES, the original Zelda game. That game is so bad, but I love it.
Fuck that game.
I share the same sentiments as you, James. I just vomited in my mouth.
No, I honestly, almost died inside. Just on the mere mention of that game.
I fucking love that game. And again, a lot of reason why I like it is because of the exploration side in me that I hated it at first, but then when I got older, I'm like, okay, let's go do some exploring. And I love that so much about that game. But yes, it is terrible. But goddamn do I love it.
The thing about that game that always pissed me off is I'd always come back to it 2 or 3 years later, and I'd always die at level 6 or 7 or whatever it is, because those fucking stacks of pancakes and those goddamn things that...
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about the likes, by the way.
I couldn't even find level 3. That's when I gave up.
Well, see, the surprising thing about it is that here's Topsy, the biggest Zelda fan of all time, and yet I'm the one that actually enjoys the first game.
But, have you listened to Aaron? He touches on that. He loves A Link to the Past, but he fucking hates the first Zelda.
Oh, because everybody does. Everybody hates the first Zelda game, and even, like I said, I think it's one of the worst games ever made. The mechanics are terrible and all that, but again, there's just something about it that I enjoy. But I could still admit that it is god-awful.
Oh, man, it's the very first time that I ever saw the game and I got the game. Now, mind you, I was, young and stupid and had no idea even how to hold a controller properly. But, the game just ruined my entire life because of that. Because, when I first played it, I died in, the second screen. And I'm, sitting here what kind of game is this? This game sucks. And now, still to this day, Like, I still have those fucking horrible memories. It's like, this game just fucking sucks my balls. Whatever.
Oh, man. The game that ruined my life was Terminator 2, but I'm not going to go into that.
Terminator 2?
No, the guy that got me into video games, a next-door neighbor of mine, you know, he had all these games. He's the one that actually gave me a Super Nintendo. But almost every day I would be at his place. He was, because, you know, he was our next-door neighbor. He was really friendly to us. I want to say he was, like, in his 30s or so, but he rarely played it. So every time I would come over, I'd just go straight down and play it. And he had the worst selection of NES games you could imagine, and they would rape me completely. You know, I would play Terminator 2, the Ninja Turtle game, the Godzilla game, the bad one, which is like, it wasn't, I have some enjoyment out of that game, but I wouldn't consider it a guilty pleasure, but I have some enjoyment out of it. And like, all, Fester's Quest, all these, like, almost every single game AVGN did on the NES, I sat there and was like, yep, I played it as a kid because my neighbor had it. So I grew up playing the worst games of all time. And that's why I have, even nowadays, like Xbox 360, I play terrible games just because that's what I grew up with such terrible games. And I play them to see, are these bad games any good?
Wait, I think you told me that because I think you were, I don't know if you were there or not, when I actually bought Terminator 2.
Yeah.
I have the game. I think you tried it a couple times, actually, because we were
I still can't, yeah. I still get as far as I did when I was a kid.
The game sucks so hard.
Oh, it was terrible, and that game ruined my life as a kid. But to get off of that, any other SNES games, guilty pleasures that people want to bring up?
I just want to bring up that I hate you for bringing up Fester's Quest. Fuck.
I hated that game so much as a kid.
But to redeem it, I thought of a game right now that's just awesome. Just to make myself feel better is Street Fighter 2010.
What?
I never played it, actually.
What?
So.
Oh, that game is awesome. It's hard, but it's awesome. All right, no more of that, though, like SNES games. Back to on track.
Let's go to...
Actually, I was thinking instead of going like a platform by platform from this point on, let's just go to whatever game you think of, because we've already been doing this for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We really have. Has it been about 40 minutes? Oh, shit, ass. Oh, shit. Who gives a shit? We'll do this for 5 hours, all we care. Obviously one for me, for the Sega Genesis, is Sonic 3D Blast.
Oh!
That game's so bad, but I have so much fun with it.
I think I could go wash the gay off of me or something.
I don't want to, like, walk around trying to pick up fucking birds that don't fucking want to be picked up.
Oh, no, even better than that. I freaking love the Flicky game.
Flicky, no!
Dude, Flicky is the best Sega Genesis game ever made.
Oh, dude, whatever.
Oh, man, dude. Tell him, James. This is our game.
Okay.
Fucking...
Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine the years like 2028. Post-apocalyptic wasteland. You got these crazy birds that are all mechanized and shit. You got killer cats with lasers on their heads. Lizards that can crawl on walls with missile launchers. And that would have absolutely jack fucking shit with how Flicky is. Because Flicky is the most primitive game ever made. All you do is run around, pick up these little chicks with your bird, and these cats come out of their little cradles and they want to come kill you. And you got like lizards crawling on the walls. And the game is insanely hard, but I love it. Like,
oh man,
fantastic!
That is a childhood favorite game of mine. I mean, there's a reason why it's always on the best Genesis games, because it's that good. But then at the same time, usually also Echo the Dolphins is on that. And,
I'd like to kill the person who said that they actually enjoyed Echo the Dolphin.
No shit, because whoever enjoyed that game needs to be shot.
I know.
But no, seriously, Flicky rules. I love that game to hell. And that's why I enjoy going around picking up little birds in Sonic 3D Blast, because it's like a 3D Flicky.
Oh, man.
With Sonic.
Not even close, but... like, to each their own.
That's exactly it. Oh, man. Oh shit! But that's I think those are like my only two for Sega Genesis because a lot of other games I play on Sega Genesis were actually pretty decently fun.
Well, I already gave you one of mine, which was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Another one that I can think of would be what is it? No, that's on the Nintendo 64. Shit, I had one. I can't remember what it was, man. Give me a minute. I'm thinking. My life. Aladdin. That's what it was.
Oh, that game is so good on the Genesis, though.
Yeah, it is. I guess I could see people considering guilty pleasure, but a lot of people love that game, and I do too. That game is so much fun.
Like, I really honestly think that between that and the Super Nintendo version, I would prefer the Genesis version.
Exactly, because the Genesis version is like so much better for some reason.
I love it, dude. Good choice. Like, Aladdin is phenomenal on the Genesis. Like,
it really is.
I liked it so much, I went out of my way and spent like $10 extra just so I could get the box and the instruction manual of my copy, because I love Aladdin on the Sega Genesis, dude. Phenomenal. Damn. Like, it makes me want to play it now. Like, I hate you. But,
do a Let's Play of it. Do a Let's Play
dude,
of it.
I will. I want to do a Let's Play of it now. In fact, if I can find a way to record a Genesis, that's exactly what I'll do.
Awesome, dude. I'll look forward to that.
But anyway, for me, and Will knows this, and I have a box copy of it as well, cool spot for the Sega Genesis.
Hell yeah.
Love
That
that
game is
game.
badass, dude.
Like, a lot of people, back then when mascots were coming out and they were releasing games, like, they were all terrible. Like, the what was it, the Pizza Hut guy or the Domino guy?
The Zoink thing or whatever?
Yeah, like, all his games were terrible. Everybody's mascots games were terrible. Cool Spot totally blew the lid off of that for me. I think Cool Spot is awesome.
Dude, you're thinking of Yonoid.
Yonoid, there we go.
There you go.
It's a weird name nonetheless. We were close enough. I think the only other game that was like one of those advertisement games that was actually somewhat decent. I never got a chance to play it, but it looks good as the McKids game.
Mm.
It looks okay, but it doesn't.
Pretty decent. Like,
yeah,
it's okay.
No gem, but it is what it is, and it's fun.
All right, Topsy, since you were so spot on with the Aladdin one, I have one to pitch at you.
Oh, God.
I loved Toy Story for the Genesis over the Super Nintendo version.
Are you?
Actually, now I think about it, I didn't even know there was a Genesis version. I only remember the Super Nintendo version, which I loved.
The Genesis version is so good. Like,
really, I'm gonna have to go play it now. I'm gonna have to get on the emulator because I didn't even know there was one for the Genesis.
Yeah, I have it. Like I said, like the majority of the games I own. I don't know why, but I like to buy them. But it is it's really difficult. Like, it really is, because they only have like so many levels they could have, so they make them really difficult. But like, you get to do a claw machine battle. You get to do race car with the catching up to the moving vehicle when it leaves. You get to fight off Sid's dog, I think it is. I can't remember what the hell its name is.
I don't know. Fuck, it's been forever since
it's been forever since I played it, and you do all those things on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I just don't know if the Genesis has better graphics or it's easier to control. I'm going to have to test it out.
You'll have to see. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no kidding. Because I did love that game as a kid on the Super Nintendo. I would rent the hell out of that game. So much fun.
Okay, I got one more on the Genesis, and then we can whatever the hell you guys want to do. And you'll have to look this up because I guarantee nobody knows what the hell this is.
Huh?
When I was a kid, me and my sister, because we used to love playing Genesis. For some reason, I don't know why, but I guess I grew up a Genesis guy. I didn't even know it.
Same here.
But I was. Richard Scarry's Busy Town on Genesis.
All right, I'll admit, I don't know that one.
It's an early childhood game.
What's it called again?
Richard Scarry's Busy Town.
When
I was a kid, this game was so good because it's simplistic. It's supposed to be a child's game. I had to buy a copy of it. You build houses, you rescue people from fires, you make food. You fly around town in a helicopter, like an apple-shaped helicopter. It's literally a game where I would not want anybody to see me playing it. Like, I can honestly say Richard's Scary Busy Town is my guiltiest pleasure of all time, where there is nobody I know that I would want to be playing a kid's game that's designed for toddlers, and I love it. Like, love Richard Scary's Busy Town. Definitely a classic in my opinion. So yes, that's my guilty pleasure. Probably.
I can see that. Because I just looked it up, and I mean, for a kid's game, like, it looks pretty cool, but I could definitely see why you would want no one to ever want to watch you play it.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Do you have any more, Will?
Not for the Genesis.
I've only got one, and it's kind of a far cry to actually call it a guilty pleasure, because it is good, but, like, there's a fine line between it. Chakan the Forever Man.
I've never even heard of that one either.
Really?
Chakan.
Chakan the Forever Man. It's so hard, but like, there's a lovable aspect of the game because of its difficulty.
Dang, you're like some kind of scarecrow thing?
Yeah, you're like a dead guy. I don't know how to explain it.
It looks badass.
You'll have to try it. It's hard. You'll understand. Like, I'm
gonna have to try it.
I would consider it a guilty pleasure because it is so hard, and it makes me so angry sometimes because of its difficulty. But it's so good.
Well, if we're talking about guilty pleasure as far as difficulty goes, then my biggest hard game difficulty as far as guilty pleasures go is Dark Souls.
Oh.
There's nothing I can say about that.
That game is so hard it makes my brain hurt. But it's so much fun.
Oh, man.
There's nothing else to say. It's one of the hardest games I've ever played, but it's so much fun.
Dude, for the Genesis, like, I mean, I have another... It's so funny because, like, you keep going back in your brain, you just keep finding more and more of these. A lot of movie licensed games for the Genesis I was a huge fan of. And the one I'm about to mention is probably one that any dude or any guy would just laugh their fucking heads off at me. I will honestly say, if you handed me a copy of Pocahontas for the Sega Genesis, I would play the shit out of it.
I don't know if I ever played that one.
Dead serious. It's another game where it's really hard, it's cryptic, but for some reason I love it. It's the movie atmosphere, like they kind of get close to recreating the movie, but yeah, Pocahontas for the Sega Genesis, another great movie license game that they released for the Genesis, and even I enjoyed it, and I really need to get a copy of it.
I do remember as a kid, now that I'm going back into my memory, it's not a guilty pleasure. Even as a kid, I fucking hated this game, and I have no idea why I played it, but I do remember playing and trying to beat the Barbie game for NES. Because the guy had it because he had a daughter, and she would play that game. So I would also try and play it. That game is so freaking hard. But, yeah, I don't know. You talking about that just reminded me that I actually did play that as a kid, and good God. And I actually remember playing a Star Trek game, not the one for the NES, but one for the Game Boy, which actually wasn't too bad, but I can't remember what it was, so that's all I can really say about it. Because I can't remember, because he was a Star Trek nut as well. Like, you walk into his house, and like, you know, like, with some people you expect, like, you know, little light ornaments or something like that. He had Star Trek ships hanging throughout the whole entire ceiling.
Oh, shit.
In fact, you know what I'm talking about, James? Mikey, who works at Kmart.
Working with that guy.
Yeah, I know. He's the guy that got me into all these games and had all the Star Trek stuff. He even had the 3-board chess set thing. It was so crazy.
Wow, man.
He was awesome. But, yeah, I just remember playing that game as a kid. I don't know why. I was an idiot. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's too many other, like, because a lot of guilty pleasures are mainly like in past games, and then when I got older, I only played good games.
I know, so it's gonna turn into like a list of what's the like worst games that we've tried.
Yeah. Because I remember one game I played on the Nintendo 64 that I loved, and I wouldn't consider it a guilty pleasure because I guess a lot of people loved it too, which was Enter the Gecko.
I don't know that one.
That is a fun... I think I said it right, Enter the Gecko, but...
Gex?
Huh?
Gex?
Yeah, Gex.
Oh.
Yeah. Gex, Enter the Gecko.
Oh, okay, yeah. That one's not that.
Gee. Oh, I love that game. But it's been forever since the last time I played it. I know one, and the Happy Video Game Nerd just did a Is It Really That Bad on it, Quest 64.
Oh, no way.
I loved that game as a kid, and I want to get a hold of a copy so bad because after watching him play it, I seriously sat there and was like, it still looks fun to play today. Oh, man, dude. I would rent that game on a weekly basis. And the sad thing was, this is back when I didn't have a memory card, so I always had to restart from the beginning. But it never bothered me as a kid. I always loved restarting that game. I don't know why. It was stupid. But there was just something about that game that was just so much fun to me. I think the only other guilty pleasures I can think of are like wrestling games, but that's only a guilty pleasure because people just aren't really into wrestling. Like freaking Day of Reckoning, that game's fun.
Shit, man.
Oh. I got one, and I kind of have a question if any of you guys recognize the name of it. It's on the PlayStation. Croc Legend of the Go-Go's.
Oh, I've played that.
I have not. I've never even heard of it.
Fucking terrible. But I love it. Like, it literally is one of... It's considered like the retarded son of Crash Bandicoot. Because it's basically trying to be Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, but failed miserably. Like, but, like I said, it's a game that I grew up with, so I have a soft spot for it. And it is a guilty pleasure, because I wouldn't want anybody walking in and seeing me playing a little crocodile with, like, barely any arms, and he has no cool attacks. He's just jumping around, collecting these fuzz balls. Like, yeah, there's no redeeming quality about that game at all.
All right, well,
love it.
If you're on that topic right there, I'll follow it with one similar to it. My guilty pleasure is I absolutely adore and love playing Spyro.
Ooh. But Spyro's really good, though.
But, like, it's such a childish game now.
Oh, yeah, but that's the appeal to it.
But it's like you'd see, like, little kids playing and not, like, a grown-ass man, like, sitting there eating potato chips playing Spyro. It's like, fuck yeah, I saved that dragon. You're my...
Dude, that's how I feel. Well, actually, the one that I still play today is was it Spyro Year of the Dragon, where you're saving all the little eggs. I was like, fuck yeah, I just saved that egg.
Oh man, the most satisfying thing in the world when you're playing Spyro though is being able to catch the egg thief.
Oh,
I fucking hate those things.
That guy's so dirty.
It's more, even for me, it's not even so much satisfying that I caught it. It's more of a relief that I finally caught it. But to each its own.
Because you can't help but, like, when you hit them and you hear them die, and then the whole game pauses and shows you the victory thing of the egg, you can't help but to set your controller down and be like, fuck you, I got your ass.
Yeah, but then when you go against two at once and you kill one, it's like, great, I gotta do this again. So, yeah, you could take that either way, basically. God, I just had one in my head, too, that I consider guilty pleasure, but I can't remember. Diddy Kong Racing.
No way.
I love that game.
Why is that a guilty pleasure? That game is awesome.
I guess a lot of people just didn't find I guess too many people were just like, oh, it's too much of a Mario knockoff, when I personally thought it was better than Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart was evil.
Yeah.
Pure hatred.
Like, I think Mario Kart should be the guilty pleasure, but a lot of people didn't really like Diddy Kong Racing that much, and I love it.
It was great.
It was so much fun to play. And I could be wrong, you know. I mean, maybe I've only heard a few people say that they didn't like it, but I could have sworn a lot of people were like, oh yeah, that game's like, you know, like nothing but a knockoff, when it's so good.
You have anything, James?
Yeah,
I've got one, actually, now that I think about it.
A really guilty pleasure for me is, and Will knows about it because I did try and play at his house. I love Clay Fighter for the 64.
63 and a third?
Yes, sir.
Oh, fuck yeah! I love you, dude. I was gonna bring that shit up, too.
Clay Fighter rocks!
Like, dude, that shit was awesome. I remember like 12 o'clock at night playing that shit.
That game was fun.
That game is badass.
Oh, man, that brings memories. Like, I sucked at the game because I suck at fighting games. But it was fun.
Who doesn't want to be Ichabod Clay? Like,
everyone wanted to be Ichabod Clay. Oh, man, that brings memories.
Yeah, Clay Fighter rocks. Like, and it's unfortunate because like it doesn't have fatality moves and all that, so like it kind of fell on the wayside. But nothing is more satisfying than kicking the shit out of Helga. Sorry, like nothing will ever satisfy me more than beating her down with like Ichabod Clay or that slime guy. Like that was awesome.
I loved using Bad Mr. Frosty.
Oh yeah.
I think the one you're thinking of is what is his name, Blue Sudoku or something like that, or I can't remember who that was. So I remember Helga, Ichabod Clay, Bad Mr. Frosty, Taffy, and Bonker, but that's all I can remember. And then Blue Sudoku, but I can't remember which one.
Bonker, dude.
Oh, the clown guy.
You're missing Kung Pao.
Yep.
Hongan, kind of close to my name, T. Hoppy the Battle Bunny.
I think you found your new symbol.
I should, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why I just changed my symbol to fucking Walter from Big Lebowski 8-bitted. I was just like, what the...
Oh, man, that is golden. But, yeah, one that I remember...
Blue Suede Goo. That was his name.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
He's an Elvis impersonator.
Yeah. Oh, man. I gotta get that game now.
I know, me too.
Oh, I miss that game so much. But no, another one that I just remembered that's a huge guilty pleasure for me is the third generation of Pokemon.
Oh.
It has a lot of problems, but I still enjoy it. You know, not as much as Generation 1 or 2, but I still find a good fun in it that a lot of people just don't really have.
Yeah.
But it does have its problems.
You like, I was going to ask, were you a big fan of Pokemon Snap?
Yes.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Probably not as much now, but as a kid, oh man.
Oh, even now.
Getting a shot of Voltorb right as he's exploding. Yes.
Now though, like for me, because like I understand gaming more, I went back and played it like a year or two ago. It is so much better now because you're able to find all those secret hidden Pokemon that were throughout the game that you never knew about. Like the first level with the Scyther that you can get out of the bushes, like I can do that now. The Mews, actually finally capturing a picture of Mew, the whole nine. The game is so much fun. Like, it's a guilty pleasure, definitely.
Yep.
A few that I've got right now. One is another one of those ones I don't know if I can consider to be a guilty pleasure. 'Cause it's not bad. It's Nintendo 64 GoldenEye.
Like hours upon hours of gaming with that game.
No kidding.
The greatest thing about that game is when you're on multiplayer and you can resist shooting each other for 5 seconds to watch someone kneel down, crouch down, and walk.
Or the mother effer who would always pick odd job.
Uh-huh.
The only other one that I can think of, like right now, I'm thinking of more, is for the PlayStation. It's the medieval games.
I know what you're talking about. I never played them.
You never played them? The one with the skeleton dude, and he's fucking weird?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because I watched someone else play it, but I've never actually played it. So I've got no comment.
I got one that's disgusting, hilarious fun, that...
Why do I feel like I think I might know what it is?
Hey, for me, a guilty pleasure is Boogerman, a pick-and-flick adventure for the Sega Genesis.
I was not expecting that, but I do know that game.
Like, you pick your nose as an attack.
Yep. I played that game as a kid.
Boogerman rocks.
I can't. Oh, man, no. I thought, literally, when you said disgusting, like, I literally thought that you were going to bring up the Saw games.
Oh.
No. Now that we're on the topic, yes, I love the Saw games. Both of them. Saw 1 and Saw 2. Flesh and Blood is definitely better than the first one. Just because of, like, I like the atmosphere. The controls are terrible. I understand the whole concept is super cheesy, whatever. I love it. I had a moment last night where I was genuinely freaked out by a video game for the first time in a long time, and I knew that it was only because of that game. I was, like, going through rooms, and I told Will about this last night because I was on the phone with him. But in order to get the key codes for some of the doors, you have to look through a peephole. Mm-hmm. And I was looking, I had like a hallway with about 5 doors. All of them had the same peephole. I did the first 4 and all of them were okay. And then the last one, I like went up to it and I looked down it and it was kind of dark. I was like, what the hell? Other side, and it's supposed to be like a quick time event where you're supposed to press the button as fast as possible. And I totally effed it up and it totally shot my brain off. Like, shot me in the face. Like, I watched the gun shoot me through the peephole. Scared the shit out of me because I couldn't figure out what the hell it was. I looked down and I'm like, wow, that looks obviously really BAM! Just blows my head off. I was like, wow. That game, for that alone, just awesome. I mean, I'm in the middle of it. I'm like on the 4th guy because it's actually a pretty decently long game. But I love the puzzles. I love the thinking that's involved. I know it's cheap. I know it's kind of like whatever kind of game, but I have a soft spot. I love the first game, and I really do enjoy the second one, even though I'm not even done with it yet. I hope it has a really cool twist ending like the first one did. But yeah, I love the Saw series for the Xbox 360. Definitely a guilty pleasure. Definitely guilty pleasure.
I'm having trouble actually thinking of any more right now. Like,
same here.
My brain is starting to fry slightly, like fried egg status.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think, but I got nothing.
I was good. Well, if anybody in this conversation says Superman 64, I'm leaving.
Actually, I've never even tried it yet.
You don't need to. Dave,
I know I don't need to, but I really want to.
Okay, this Friday.
I want to see how bad it is.
This Friday, we're going to have to either, I don't know, touch back with me on this, because I'm going to get my hands on an Atari 2600 and a copy of E.T., and I'll be able to tell you whether or not that it's a guilty pleasure for me or not. So, if E.T. turns out to be one of my games, I'm like, okay, I think I kind of like it, then, like, I guess it'll be something hilarious. This Friday for the Atari 2600, and I'm going to try it, and I'm going to see how bad it really is, because it's supposed to be right on par with Superman 64. So,
yeah.
I'll let you guys
know.
For sure.
Definitely, because I want to hear your input on it, but I think I got one more. This is like the last one I can think of. I can't believe I'm actually admitting this. I love Viva Pinata.
Viva Pinata's awesome, dude.
That game, oh my god. It's ingenious. I love it. I don't know. It is so cute. And I just enjoy playing it.
Oh, I know, dude.
I might actually put it in later tonight and play it.
The atmosphere, the music,
the music is so calming.
The
and you
super
just see,
cute pinatas.
oh my god! Like just seeing the little worms rolling around and seeing the sparrows flying with one another. It's like, ah,
it's so tranquil. I love it. And the snake, man, the snake.
Oh, the snakes are so badass.
I love it, dude.
The only thing I don't like about the game, which in a sense shows how much I like it and how far I've gotten in it, the only thing I don't like about the game is that there is a population limit.
I know, you have a cap limit, and it's really, really depressing.
It really is, because then it's like, well, now I got to get rid of these pinatas to bring in some other ones, and I don't want to kill these cuties out.
I know, god damn it, I love that game.
Oh, so much. Just taking something that looks like absolute trash and creating it into a paradise for all these pinatas is just so much fun. But that's the last guilty pleasure I can think of. I got nothing else.
Man, I'm trying to think right now if there's any last minute ones I can pull out of my ass or something. Besides Rainbow Island for the NES.
What?
Rainbow Island?
You've never heard of that game?
I don't think so.
That is definitely my top guilty pleasures probably then. Look that shit up. That is by far the most
it up right now.
game ever.
It looks cute as hell.
Exactly. It fucking leaves you're vomiting and crying tears of confetti and pancakes and you're vomiting rainbows and shitting positive thoughts while you're playing.
Oh, it's the story of Bubble Bobble.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Bubble Bobble.
Oh, Bubble Bobble.
If you don't like Bubble Bobble, I just it's so cute. You just gotta love it.
Yeah.
The music is so good. Oh man, let me think, because I don't want to, I want to make sure I cover everything. What's another game I have a guilty pleasure of? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I got it now. Alright. Guilty pleasure of mine is for the Game Boy. Once again, we're going to go back to movies again. And Will had this game, so he knows for a fact that he knows what I'm talking about.
Uh-oh.
He used to play the shit out of and don't even lie about it. We totally played Mulan like it was going at its height.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep.
And it was good.
It was. That music still is in my head today.
Oh, dude, Mulan kicks ass on this freaking Game Boy, man. Yep, I'm doing a playthrough of it.
I need to.
On it. Dude,
it's funny, because when you brought up Game Boy and movie, two games went in my head.
Small Soldiers
and Mulan.
And Mulan was...
You knew the second one of me, because that's what we would play. Small Soldiers and Mulan. Those games were absolutely fun. Mulan was the best of the two.
Easy.
So much fun, so hard. I beat Small Soldiers, but I've never beaten Mulan. I would always get to a level that I would never be able to surpass, but Small Soldiers I was able to beat. And it is a hard as fuck game that I tried. I recently as in a year ago, got it down for as a ROM and started playing Small Soldiers again, and I can't even get past the second level.
Dang.
It's a hard game, and I can't believe I actually beat it as a kid, but yeah.
Mulan, man, damn.
That game was so much fun.
I think it's funny. We're all going to be playing one of these games as Let's Plays now.
I know, right?
Yeah. I'm going to do a Small Soldiers Let's Play.
I'll do freaking Mulan, easy.
I'll do the fucking either Rainbow Island or I'll do fucking Jurassic Park.
Oh!
I know I'm going to be doing Enter the Gecko whenever I get a hold of that game.
I'm actually going to do that. When I'm done with Fusion, I'm going straight to Jurassic Park. Fuck that.
Nice.
I can't wait to see that.
No
I want to
kidding.
see you beat this because I'm pissed that you like this game. So I want to see you cruise through it, man. Just
I'll
to
dedicate
shut me up.
I'll dedicate the entire thing to you then. Just
Yes, yes. Oh God.
Oh man. Okay, I think we're good there, huh?
Yeah, I think
Yep.
that's pretty much it.
All right, that's our guilty pleasures of gaming. I guess next time we'll just talk about our guilty pleasures in movies.
All right, yeah, we didn't even touch on that, but yeah.
Fuck
Nope.
movies. We were talking about games.